Hello, this is a Dear Dave Grohl video. Now I know I have my Dear Stuart Copeland video and my Dear Jimmy Page video. Well, Dear Stuart Copeland is, I asked him about some other stuff, which would be similar to this, but Dear Dave Grohl. First off, God love ya, great musician. How many folks can play drums in one of the world famous bands, then go on and start his own band, and then kick butt for the last 20 years. But listen, I know you're kind of pals with Jimmy Page, or at least kind of. Like, you might have his number. You know what I mean? Call him up. And I wanted to ask you, if you ever do see this video, or one of your buddies sees this, and be like, hey, there's this guy in his basement in the Midwest who made a video. Check this out. The Complete Beatles recording sessions, okay? I'm sure you've seen this. If you haven't, check it out. Get a copy. Terrific. What happened was, I think some fella at EMI, Abbey Road, had cancer, I think. And while during his treatment, I think they said, well, hey, you can stay on here if you feel like doing something, or you can stay at home. And he said, well, I'd like to continue to go to work. This is how I understand it. And so he went through all the Beatles tapes and stuff that were there, and he sort of made like a log of when they recorded what, in what studio, with the songs they did, how many takes they did, how many, in those days when they did reductions, like pre-mixing these tracks, putting down, that kind of stuff, as you know. God knows you've been in the studio before. So, okay, so here we go. Tuesday, April 26, 1966. Studio 2, 2:30 p.m. to 2:45 a.m. Recording And Your Bird Can Sing, remake. Takes 3 to 13. Producer George Martin, engineer Jeff Emmerich, second engineer Phil McDonald. Okay, boys, quite brisk. Moderato, foxtrot. Under this somewhat confusing directive from Maestro John Lennon, the Beatles launched into the remake of And Your Bird Can Sing. The first attempt, take 3, although only a rhythm track, was a very heavy recording, but the song grew progressively lighter after that, although guitars were always well into the fair. I need my reading glasses. A playback at the end of the 13th take revealed that take 10 had been the best. That type of thing, okay? I was hoping that Jimmy Page, or John Paul Jones or Robert Plant, but they'd have to go through the Pagester, could make something like this, okay? So the Complete Led Zeppelin recording sessions, the same kind of thing. How many takes they did of this, where they did this, who they mixed this with, how many guitar overdubs, how many splices, the whole schmeal, and also include some studio pictures. I know they're out there. We've all seen. A couple of years ago, we saw some pictures that came out. I forget who took, were they Time Life photographers or somebody. There were some pictures of Zepp in the studio. You see Jimmy Page in there. It's probably 69-ish. There's one where, he's sitting there at his guitar, and I think he's got even a harmonica, I forget, on one of those funky retainer-type apparatus. And then you see Bonham's drum setup. Interestingly, just one tom, one floor tom, one crash, one ride. Really neat. The Hammond B3 there, and then a couple other ones where Bonham sort of set, like he's holding a cymbal and stuff. And then Eddie Kramer has some pictures he took at Stargroves, where you see Bonham sitting at his kit, but you just see the top edge of the green sparkle. No, but anyway, the reason why I'm asking this, I know you're a gargantuan Led Zeppelin John Bonham fan. You are. I've read it. I know you just are. So what I'm saying is from the rest of us John Bonham Led Zeppelin files off in the distance, since you're like the man, since you've made it in the biz, you have all kinds of clout, and you got to actually play the drums behind rock and roll with Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones and Taylor Hawkins singing his ass off in front. God bless him. I think you might have the clout to pull this off. So I know you're sort of a closet total Led Zeppelin geek. I know you probably at least one point had a John Bonham shrine in your basement. But if you could maybe sort of nudge the page later, be like, yeah, so it might be a good idea if, you know what I'm saying? Think about it. Wouldn't that be the coolest thing in the world? Wouldn't it be awesome if they're like, well, yeah, 1970, July 7th, we went in, we set up, we ran through we did some rehearsals for Black Dog for a few hours, and then at 7 o'clock we tracked 3 takes of No Quarter. The first one we deemed this, wouldn't that just be awesome? And additionally, too, I know that Page's James Patrick Page? I know he's got to be up for it, because over the years he's sort of been loosening up to the idea. I've been asking this forever. I wish a lot of bands would do this. Nirvana could do it too, even the Foo Fighters. But Zeppelin is, Zeppelin, like, you know what I'm saying? So, but I know, in these companion discs, he put in, when he reissued or remastered for the 9th trillionth time, I think, the Led Zeppelin stuff, but also these companion discs, which a lot of the studio outtake stuff and different mixes and stuff, that's terrific. I mean, that's, that shows that I think he's warming up to the idea. So, Mr. Grohl, maybe if you could, and I know I look like a jackass, I mean, you'll probably never see this video, but, fellow Led Zeppelin fans and Bonham fans, I think this might be the surest way to get it done. If somebody in the biz is kind of like, maybe chat up the page later. So again, if you haven't seen this book, it's an awesome book. Check it out. It's all, there's pictures in there, and here we go. Tuesday, 8th of November, 1966. For all his technical skill, there was little that Jeff Emmerich could do with She Loves You. The original 2-track tapes had long been destroyed, and all that existed was the mono master tape of the single. Emmerich spent 90 minutes fabricating a mock stereo version of the song. I mean, isn't that the coolest thing in the world? Alright, so please, if you could do that, that'd be terrific. And two, I know you're loaded. If you want to buy 500 of these big. No, seriously, if that would be terrific. Because we need allies. We Zeppelinophiles and John Bonhamophiles, we need allies in the real world of music, people who might have the clout to sort of... So I don't mean to be rude asking you, but from one desperate Led Zeppelin and John Bonham fan to another, who also, I mean, you got to play with Zeppelin, I think, a couple times, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't they come... I know you did rock and roll, but I thought they sat in with you somewhere else. Isn't that cool? You can actually say Zeppelin sat in with us. You rat bastard. I'm jealous. I am jealous. I normally don't get envious, but I am jealous. I'm all purple and green like... But listen, everybody else, and my fans, if you watch this, so if you could get behind me and be supportive, and hopefully Jimmy Page will see that video, and maybe in the back of his mind he might be like, that might not be a bad idea. And if Dave Grohl, if you could, I mean, think about that, dude. I mean, imagine if we had that. Not to mention, you could make a documentary of you going in. Let's say you walk up to Page and you guys are doing it. You're in the studio and listening to stuff, and you could make a documentary even about that too. The possibilities are endless. So let's get going on it, okay? If you need a consultation about anything ultra geekery, or just somebody to sort of sycophantically stand around while you guys are doing your thing, I'm the guy to call. Anyway, thanks for watching my video if you saw it. The 1 in 137,937,336 odds. And of course, hopefully at least 1,000 of my subscribers will see this. So hopefully we'll pull it off. Thank you for watching. More videos on the way.